Welcome everybody to our first WASC meeting. I want you guys to know that we have a full road ahead of us when it comes down to WASC, and we're trying to make the process as easy as possible for all staff, which is why we are incorporating these 3 meetings so we can meet together and get everybody on one accord. Just so you all know, the full visit is coming up in at the beginning of May 2nd through the 4th, which is a 3-day WASC visit. Marilyn, do you want to get started? So let's talk about what WASC is.
Yes, I thought that was nice.
That is yours. Go ahead.
Hi, so I guess I'll get everybody started. So WASC, so for those that have been here a while, we had our first initial visit back in spring of 2018. And they were another visiting committee was supposed to come back 2 years after that initial visit to have a follow-up with us. Due to COVID, as you know, everything got delayed. So now we are in the process of completing a full report, which also includes the visit. So what is WASC? So WASC is basically an accrediting organization. So any independent school or college would be looking to get WASC accreditation to pretty much look and ensure that school communities are, making sure they're doing everything according to the state, local legislation. They're looking at our operations and making sure that we are a trustworthy institution. We all know here that we're doing excellent, or else why wouldn't they have given us initial accreditation as they did years prior? But this is more of a process, a self-reflection process where we're looking at everything that our school community is doing and our programming and making sure that we are living up to the goals that we set out within the mission, the vision, and also within our school plans. One thing, as I mentioned, it's an ongoing process. So it's a cyclical process where we're looking at ways where we could improve. And one of the things that I like to say about WASC is that it kind of offers this schools like a seal of approval. So I know oftentimes when parents look to us to enroll, they ask about accreditation. So as you see on the screen here, this is the lovely seal that they allow us to use once we're accredited. You can find it on the footer of our website. And it is definitely a great marker, or like I like to say, a gold star of what we're trying to achieve. And back to you, Navarro.
So, so you guys know, you guys will all, there is a WASC document. I'm going to ask everyone to turn on your cameras, please, wherever you are. I still see a lot of people with cameras off. We didn't want to hold this meeting in the NPR, but it is important that you're all present. And so I'm going to just pause for 1 second to check everyone that's here with me. Just want to make sure that we're all here. I'm still seeing a lot of people. I'm waiting. Still waiting on people to turn the cameras on. What we didn't want to do is have everybody in the NPR, but we definitely need your presence here. And so that's why we're asking everybody. So we're going to have 3 cameras. I'm sorry, 3 meetings, and this is going to apply to every single meeting, just so you all know, even if we're eating, because I know it was a stretch between dismissal and here. That's okay. I just want your presence. I want us engaged. Thank you for those of you who've already turned on the cameras. I'm still waiting on some.
And Navarro, I sent you a message for 1 individual.
I got it. Thank you. Cassidy, Christina, there you are, Cassie. Brandy, Christina. Okay, thank you all. So here's the deal. We do have a WASC document and it is over 100 pages long. This is true. And so that document is going to be shared with everybody on site. So what these meetings are is a review of what's inside of this document. So of course, we want you to read over 100 pages worth of reach material, and you're welcome to. However, please show up to these meetings, because these meetings, we will take you through the document. We're hoping to do it painlessly. And the reason behind this is because we all have to be familiar with, obviously, our school, as the WASC committee will be visiting us. And they may really pull anyone on campus and ask questions in regards to our school. And so we just want to expose you to all of the information that we have, so you can know what's going on. And so that's what you're going to get out of these next WASC meetings, this one along with the next 3 meetings. So you're obviously welcome to review the material and familiarize yourself with it. But again, for the next, till today and the next 3 Wednesdays, which are April 13th, 20th, and 27th, we will be meeting here. Please have all of your teams meet. If some of the teams, I know some of you have reached out to me, if they're not able to make it because they're caught up, say with after school, etc. We are recording the material, so you can watch it with your team. If you need to do that, or if you need to simply review a few things on your own, feel free to do that. So again, via Zoom, instead of the NPR, but we do ask you to have your cameras on to be visible and to be present. I apologize for all the multiple calendar invites that went out to you all. We're going to stick to the last one in red. That's going to be reoccurring. Okay, so Marilyn.
All right, so as it's been mentioned already, this is going to be a 3-day visit at the beginning of May. And this process not just involves the people that have been crafting the document, but we are going to be involving all stakeholders. And I will get to that in the next slide. So basically within the document, we are looking at our mission vision, what we stand for, which, as you know, is a charter that's been cemented early on in our charter petition to the district. And we're really focusing on these what is called the school-wide learner outcomes. So within these goals, we know that we want academic success for everyone. So this outside committee will be reviewing that and seeing if we are living up to that standard. We are also looking at the assessment of the student programs. So many of you that are on this call, department heads and admin, we also looked overall at different programs that we had. So that is showcasing to the visiting committee priorities for our school site. Within all reviewing, the school's purpose, the learner outcomes, and assessing the data, that is information, as I mentioned before, it's the cyclical process where we're trying to really gauge that we are continuously improving, but that information also informs our school-wide action plan and also our LCAP and other reports that we submit to the state. So this self-study process is a really good tool to just self-reflect. And at the end, what we're looking is that for that committee to validate our program. And with that, we are able to, like I said, take these findings and really see how we can improve them. So then when we do have an upcoming visit years later, we're then able to report how this process kind of highlighted those items and then show in the future what we did in order to improve. Next, I wanted just to go over a quick sample of a schedule. So we are going to be crafting a detailed hourly schedule for the committee themselves. But in the meantime, what we do want to share is that it's going to be 3 days. It's Monday through Wednesday, but the committee will check in with us the Sunday before in what's called a pre-visit meeting. And with that Sunday, we are looking to gather the leadership team that helped craft the report. We also need to get community members such as parents and board members to meet at that pre-visit check-in. Just so you know, when the committee's here during the 3 days, they will be doing class and program observations. So you will be seeing 4 committee members on campus during that time. The committee will also conduct interviews. So they will have meet with focus groups, so meet with students and staff. And that in those interviews, that is That would be during a very formal setting. But then as you can see on the slide, they will also have an informal interview. So for example, they would be having lunch in the NPR with the students and having just more informal chats with them, asking them information about the school. As part of their visit, they'll also be examining student work. So within the report that we are turning in, we are including samples, but again, since they are doing these classroom and program observations, they could very well also be, engaging with the kids in the class, looking at the work that they're completing in real time. Lastly, during that visit, they will have time set aside. We will be putting together a space for them to just sit and work, review the document, review the notes of what they've been observing throughout those days. They would give feedback, and then ultimately, which I know will happen, accredit our school, and we can continue using that logo and that marker for the upcoming years. So then the next thing I want to review is that I did some research and I was able to find the faces of our committee members online. So as you can see, we are going to have a committee of 4 on campus, and they do come from charter schools in the area. So just so you know, we're not just going to be reviewed and looked at, but not just public school representatives, but since they are from charter backgrounds, they really understand what we are doing. So it's they're going to be very understanding about what the process is like, the authorization, the operations, and how charter schools operate. So we should definitely not, we should not look at it as a very intimidating process. These are people that understand our day-to-day. Next, so part of the WASC process is that all of us who work here, I'm pretty sure at some point in the interview, you were asked about your values and what you believe, whether you're a teacher or a classified staff member. So for those that don't know or haven't reviewed the Reach's mission recently, I have it here on the slide, but I really just wanted to highlight some key words and phrases of what the school's mission and purpose is. So as you can tell, I know I'm not going to sit here and read the whole thing, but one of the main things that stand out with our vision or our mission is that we're dedicated to bridging the socioeconomic, racial, and digital divide for underserved youth. So these are many, for example, socioeconomic, racial, digital, these are all could be potential barriers for students in order to achieve an equitable education. But what Reach is trying to do is break down those individual barriers. Ultimately, what we want is to prepare our students for success in college. That way they can be prepared for the complexity and the challenges that come with being in a global society. With that, by giving them these tools, we want to make sure that they're confident and they're articulate leaders. And then ultimately at the end of our mission, as you can see, we have this belief that with these tools, by breaking down these barriers, all students, not just some, all students can succeed in school when they enroll and, are part of competitive colleges and universities, that all students will be prepared for the challenges of higher education. So regardless of students' backgrounds, we are making sure that they are going to be prepared for the future. Next, vision statement. Also a very long piece, but very rich and important things that we all as Reach staff members need to be very aware of. So again, I highlighted just some of the major pieces here. So we are trying to cultivate and empower global literate students because we want to give them the following skills. They need to have knowledge, critical thinking, and the attitudes, the core values that we give them so they can be influential contributors. At Reach, we also practice a student-centered approach. So we're really looking at each individual student. What is it that they need in order to be successful in college and in the future? Again, the powerful word, all students need to become compassionate, innovative, intelligent thinkers. And we're preparing them for the challenges of higher education. Again, with the vision statement, this really, we're really looking more into the how. How are we going to do this? So in the second paragraph, we're looking at relevant curriculum so we can empower them. Research-based curriculum that is Common Core ready. A curriculum that addresses the whole child. As you know, we have a strong SPED department that really focuses also on the social emotional aspect. Really looking at students' individual needs. With that, by looking at their individual needs, we're really teaching kids at their level. So that way they're able to master skills. And again, we are STEM and art focused, hence STEAM in our name. And we're really looking at empowering kids through Common Core curriculum, which includes the following: ELA, math, history, physical education, foreign language, and global literacy. That was a mouthful, but I'm hoping everybody takes away is that the mission and vision really states what we're trying to achieve and how we intend to do that. So it's very important for us as we go into this WASC process to be aware of these two pieces because they inform the goals and they also, the data ties back to what we're trying to do.
And then thank you, Marilyn. And just so you guys know, of course, as a reminder, this is the mission and vision statements are found in our handbooks, both the staff and the student, as well as on our website. So if you're curious and need to read it again or whatnot, then you're always welcome to reference that. Or if, say, the WASC committee asks you where we can find them, then you can, point them in that direction.
Thank you, Susie. All right, next piece is a self-study report. So once we share the document, you will notice that there are these different sections or chapters that we're working on. And then for this presentation, we're going to focus on chapter 1 and 2. So then, Susie, did you want me to click into here or not yet?
Not yet. Take them through what you will find in the document. We're going to expose you to the document. And then once it's finalized by Friday or so, we will be sending this over and sharing it to you by the beginning of next week. Okay, so you guys can have access to it. And so we're just going to expose you to it today so you can see what you're going to be receiving. But if you want to take them through what they'll find in the document, that's good.
Okay. So yeah, so chapter 1, so in the progress report, what we're focusing on is really everything that's happened since the last visit in the spring of 2008. We're looking at curriculum, anything new with curriculum, new staff, COVID, how did we handle that? In chapter 2, we're looking at the student community profile and the data and findings. In this chapter, what we're doing is looking at our demographics, we're looking at the different student groups that we have on campus, looking at the trajectory of how those numbers have changed within the last time of the visit, and then also any of the supporting data, such as SBAC testing or any of the internal assessments that we've done to show that we're keeping track of students' academic growth. In chapter 3, we're doing self-study findings. So in here, we dig more into the meat of what our school is about. In part A, we're looking at the mission, the vision, governance, how the board governs the school and how they interact with the school. We're looking at the leadership team and the different resources that allow us to accomplish our goals. In B, we're looking at curriculum. Is it Common Core tied? How are we utilizing it? What are the components there? In C, we're looking at learning and teaching. So in this section, we're looking at how we're providing professional development for our teachers and how we're supporting them in order to meet the unique needs of students. In D, we're looking at assessment accountability. So within these last couple of years, we've been keeping track of data, and the data is telling us a story of what's working and what's not working. And with that way, we're able to do improvements in the moment as we're getting the data. Lastly, in part E, we're looking at school culture, support for student personal, social, emotional, and academic growth. So in here, we're looking at the school climate. We're looking at how we're engaging parents, the types of activities we have. It's not just about the academic aspect. We also want to get into how we're building community with our students and our parents. And then lastly, there's a section where we need to prioritize our areas of growth. So after we look at every individual piece, we're analyzing the conclusions, what's working, what do we need to, or what else do we need to work on and to improve and to make, and maybe an existing goal, either we need to improve it, get rid of it, adapt it. So that would be in that section. Lastly, in chapter 4, we're analyzing all the different major student learner needs. So again, this is going to be very, it's going to be geared towards our school. So what we come up with in the analysis could be completely different to any other school. And lastly, in chapter 5, so after we do this review, this information is going to help us update our school-wide action plan and other plans such as the local control and accountability plan. This information will help us further refine our goals and also look at the different actions and services that we would need to include or update. And then like how, as Ms. Navarro mentioned, we will be sending that out to you. So this is just a preview of that. And then in chapter 1, as I was mentioning.
Can you go back, please, and expose them to the document itself?
Oh, you want me to click?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just want to show it to you. We're not going to spend much time here, but I just want you guys to see this is what you'll receive. So when you receive it, you know exactly what you're looking at. Can you just kind of scroll down so you can see? Keep going. We can't see any. Okay, there it is. So as you can see, kind of like what Marilyn just reviewed, we have chapter 1. Keep going, Marilyn. Obviously those notes are going to be gone because we're still finalizing the document. Keep going, Marilyn. Just scroll so they can see. Okay, so then there's chapter 2, there's charts, there's graphs. You're going to have all of the information that we have on Reach basically on this document. Thank you, Marilyn. I think that's that's enough. We just want you to know that that's coming your way, okay?
All right, so chapter 1. So as I mentioned before, we're looking at the significant developments since the last visit. So I'm not going to go through all of them, but as you know, we've had COVID. COVID really changed how we delivered the instruction. We added new roles. So as the school has gotten bigger and we've increased our enrollment, we've had to add more specialized positions in order to help us with the implementation. We've had new curriculum, which a lot of it has was with COVID and having to go more digital. We were able to get to curriculum that had more technology-rich components to it. And of course, a facility expansion project. So we've just finished our special education wing, and that was due part of the increase in enrollment and the increase of students that needed those services. And again, in chapter 1, we'll also be highlighting some of the school's overall achievements. So there's a plethora of things that we can talk about, such as, the campus moving to being a restorative campus, cultural events that we've had on campus, such as a Black History Month and Hispanic Heritage Month. We've also had students that have continued to go and place at the county science fair. And the list goes on and on. But what we're trying to show in this chapter is that even with COVID and everything that's happened, the school has continued its operations, and we're still showing significant growth and significant student outcomes.
Thank you so much, Marilyn. So as for chapter 2, obviously we don't expect you to remember and memorize all of this. I mean, we are exposing you to the information, but also know that you have it at your fingertips. So in chapter 2, we will be discussing the student community profile and supporting data and findings. So here's the trajectory of the last 4 years is what I'm exposing you to in terms of student enrollment. So as you can see from year 2017, which is the last time they visited, we had 500 students, and now we've increased each year, and now we're at capacity with 640 students. There's some significant growth. In terms of teachers, as you can see, we have on the left side, on the left column, we have grade levels. So for TK all the way down to 6th grade, the last time they came here, we had only 1 TK teacher, 1 6th grade teacher, and 3 teachers for the rest of the grade levels. And today we have 2 TK teachers and 3 teachers for every single grade level as well. In terms of student demographics, this is where we're at right now. Just exposing you to that, we have 16.7% of our white student population. We have 23.9% of our African-American population. We have a 3.7% of our Asian population. We have a 0.5% of a Filipino population. We have 47% of the Hispanic population. And then we have a 0.3% of the Pacific Islander population, and then we have some that checked off 2 or more races at 7.9%.
I just wanted to maybe point out, Ms. Navarro, that these demographics are from a year ago, 2 years ago.
2020, 2021. Go ahead, Marilyn. As for our free and reduced meals, the last time that they were here, we had 254 students that were receiving free and reduced price meals, which is a 50% of our population. And then as far, and now today we have a 51.1%, which is why we became a Title I school, because half of our population qualify for the free and reduced meals. Now, we did pull this data from 2019. This is our SBAC state testing results, where we compared reach against the state and also against the school district, which is Riverside, the one we're by. And this is how we compared in terms of ELA. As you can see on the left side of there, reach has the 52% of students who met or exceeded the standards. Versus the state had 51 and the district, Riverside district had 49. So kudos to all of you, like what an amazing job. In terms of math, Reach had 40% students who met or exceeded the standards, compared to the state who had 43. So we're right there with them. And then we're definitely matching the Riverside School District at 40 as well. So you can speak confidently on the fact that we're performing either at their level or very close to it, if not surpassing it, like in terms of ELA.
Can I add one thing, Ms. Navarro?
Of course.
I just wanted to point out that this is SBAC data from 2019. For those that don't know, the state, we haven't had SBAC data for the last 2 years. So this was the most recent SBAC information that we could pull to include in the report. So just an FYI.
Thank you, Marilyn. Very important. And this is why you're seeing our comparisons are from a couple of years ago, because we're definitely missing gaps. Also, we're not the only school, as you all know, that has this situation going on, right? And so the WASC committee is very, very aware of the fact that many schools don't have this data because of COVID. So here, we are comparing our data from the year 2020 to the year 2021. From March to March, and here's how the whole school compared from March 2020 to March 2021 in terms of ELA results. We did see a decrease. If you look at the blue here on the pie chart, we did see a decrease of 4% in scores from 35. That's not the right picture. To 31. I'm sorry about that. I will replace that. from scores from 35% to 31% for the students at or above benchmark. And then for the students on watch, which are the green students, it actually increased to 2%. And then the students on intervention increased by 2%. And then the students on urgent intervention increased by 6%. So of course, we can reflect on the fact that the pandemic definitely affected our school. And we can look at the needs, that we have moving forward to better support the students. I mean, if we're really going to be honest, 2% and 6% is not that bad. I know a lot of us at the very beginning of COVID were really fearing like some major numbers. But I know obviously you've all been working incredibly hard for those numbers to stay as low as they are. But it is still important to see that, of course, pandemic did affect us as a school and our student performance as well. In terms of math, we decreased, if you look at the blue chart, again, the pie chart, if you look at the blue color, we decreased for students above, at or above benchmark, we decreased 9%. So we dropped from 33 to 24 students there. Now for the students on watch, which is the green color there on the pie chart, we decreased by 6%. And for the students on intervention, we increased by 6%, which is there's a need there. And then the students on urgent intervention with the red increased by 10%. So again, just reflecting on how the pandemic affected us and where our needs are in terms of our students, student learning. We do want to expose you to outreach. I know you're all aware of it. So outreach is a program that's committed to helping all of those who are less fortunate, or they're homeless, or they're in foster care. So what this program is geared to do is to help students and their families with basic resources so they can be successful in school. We offer school supplies, hygiene supplies, toiletries, uniforms, food, groceries, gas gift cards, information for housing, government assistance programs, mental health services, etc. There are 15 members that participate in the outreach committee and who meet on a monthly basis to discuss the support being offered to these families in need. And then just so you all know, we have, and I know it says there too, we don't have too many in these groups, which is, great. In the homeless group, we actually have three, not two, three students who are actually doubled up. They're not homeless without a home, but they are doubling up with other families. And so they're still considered homeless because of that. And we have one student who is part of the fostering population.
Hi, so I will be covering another program. So within chapter 2, we're just giving you a snapshot of the many programs that we have. So another thing to know is here at REACH, we have a dedicated team that provides physical education instruction to our students. We want you to know that we have 6 amazing coaches that are providing structured activities 4 times a week to our students. So they are getting the minutes there for PE. And then they are also responsible for administering the California State Physical Fitness Test, which also has been affected by COVID, and we haven't had data for that yet. And overall, this is another program and component that really adds on to the, not just the academic side of things, but their instruction is helping with the social emotional aspect as the kids are getting time outdoors to get their wiggles out.
Okay. Thank you for that. In terms of school climate, we did survey our parents, and these are the results. Just so you all know, parent satisfaction survey, 62.4 parents, 62.4% of our parents strongly agree that REACH provides a safe learning environment. Whereas 34.7% of our parents agree that REACH provides a safe learning environment, which is a total of 97.1 parents reporting that REACH has created a safe learning environment for our students. And that's a pretty good number to have. Now, our students, we surveyed 4th through 6th grade students. We surveyed our younger ones, but it was more with like mark a little happy face if you're happy type of surveys, which are really adorable. But in terms of the students that were able to actually like take the survey, which is 4th through 6th graders, this is the satisfaction results. 84% of our 4th through 6th grade students reported liking their school. 8% reported sometimes liking it. 5% reported they did not know, and then 3% reported not liking it. So 3% not liking the school is actually pretty impressive, just so you all know. And I know that we always have parents and people talking about how excited and happy the students are to come to school. So again, I just want to turn over kudos to you all for making that space for our students. In terms of staff satisfaction, we had 100% of our staff members strongly agree that REACH provides a safe learning environment. 100% of our staff members strongly agree that REACH provides a safe environment for all. And 100% of our staff members strongly agree that REACH promotes academic success for all students. You're definitely welcome to check out all the surveys and all the reports if you're curious around other questions and other results as well.
All right, so I'm just going to go really quickly into a fact sheet. So this is just additional information that you can use and keep in your head if a WASC person does approach you during the visit. So definitely what makes us different is that we have highly trained and dedicated teaching staff. We are always looking into providing a technology-rich instructional approach that's student-centered, that revolves around, it's a STEAM-based approach. We're looking at project-based learning, so anything that's hands-on and that it's interactive for students. We are also, as you could tell, can tell in the data and the report, is that we are an extremely diverse campus, and it does reflect there. And we're always looking to encourage positive student relations and discourage bullying here on campus. So then, for those that don't know, we've been here at this facility for a while, and we have these 6 houses that do encourage a lot of that camaraderie. And I think that's one of the things that does make us really unique. And then for those that don't know, it's important to be aware that as a charter school, we are a school of choice. A lot of our parents, as you may know, drive from different places in Southern California just to get to our school. So the fact is that we have parents that have followed us for many years just because we do have this unique program. And with charter schools, you have to understand that individuals go with a petition to our authorizing district, and then the district decides whether the school can open or not. Every 5 years, we go through a renewal process, and the district will review data as well and hear the voices of parents and students before allowing an additional 5-year extension. So we operate with high standards of accountability. We're following the same deadlines and submission deadlines for others that other schools do. And in exchange for that, we're able to provide a very rich program that allows us flexibility, and then we're able to collaborate with staff, parents, teachers in order to make those programs happen.
Thanks, Marilyn. So how can you best prepare for the visit? If don't panic, I would say. That's not on here, but you have all the support. We've been through so many visits, including the mayor. I mean, we're actually a school that's always being looked at, so I know we're all ready for it. But I am going to say, familiarize yourself with the mission and vision fact, and the fact sheet. Go through our website and just kind of cruise around and see what type of information you find there. Look at the types of curriculum and programs that we have implemented here at the school. In terms of the actual visit, the days of the visit, where's your Sunday's best. You may meet with the visitors and they may ask questions as light as like, what makes REACH different than other school experiences? And of course, we can all speak to that. Or would you recommend the school to others? And then at that point, you answer whatever you need to answer with that. But they may ask more, more specific questions like which curriculum are you teaching or etc. whatnot. So those are some of the ways you can prepare for the visit. So guess what, guys? It's we're at the tail end of it, and congratulations, you made it through the first WASC meeting. So the follow-up process, we just want you to know when everything's said and done, the WASC committee visits, they come in and they're going to give us suggestions as to what they see. They're going to write a report, and then we're going to integrate those suggestions into our report, and then we're going to send the final copy after the suggestions have been integrated to so we're going to integrate into our final WASC document, and then that version is going to be shared with you all again so you can have it, and then from there we just have annual assessments and overseeing that everything that we talked about in the WASC document, like what we're doing, the school-wide action plan, local control accountability plan, and everything is being implemented. Really, like, we're not letting up. We're saying we're going to do something, and so we're going to continue revisiting every year, making sure that we are. And of course, we will celebrate our success being accredited. So with that being said, let's go ahead and take a poll with us, please. We want to hear from you. Oh my God, what did I just do? Somebody help. So how do you see it? Can you see that? Do you guys get it?
Yeah, we see it. We have it.
Okay, can you please take that poll now? So far, 1%. So we have 55 people on the call. We'll wait for 55 people to take the poll. We're at 32, we're waiting. $38, we're waiting. No problem, we have time. We ended early. We're still waiting. So we have 2 questions, and interestingly enough, some of you have answered number 2, but not number 1. Please make sure to answer both questions so we can have just your results or your input.
Someone's asking for you to send it again. Is that possible, or does it have to start
No,
over?
I would have to start it over.
Come on, people.
Right.
Just click. Do
Just
we have
click.
to start again?
Should we start again?
I don't know. I don't know if that is that possible.
Can whomever needs it sent again, can you unmute and tell me what you're seeing on your end?
It says take a poll.
Never mind, I got it.
You
I
figured it out.
to exit out because I was helping a parent.
Okay, perfect.
Okay. Again, I still see more people answering number 2 than number 1.
So there's 2 questions. Make sure we answer both.
We'll just wait just a few minutes. We're
Genevieve
patient.
said it went away and then I clicked command. Okay, thanks, Genevieve.
Okay. So we're at 51 right now.
So Chad
Yeah,
answered
Chad-
4 questions.
Chad
That's part of the
answered-
problem.
Not good.
Come on, folks.
Oh my God, guys.
6.
So
and
I
then
think y'all
yeah.
making up questions
4 to
now.
express it. Yes, there you go. How many? Where are we? At what percent?
We
at
are at
90?
51%.
Oh, boy.
What's up? So I know that we doubled up, and some people messaged me that
They
some people
can't.
are with you. So out
Okay.
of 51 out of 55, that
Hopefully
I'm
they've
gonna take that now.
collaborated. Okay.
If anyone's still working on it, can you please unmute and let me know that you're still working on it?
Okay, so somebody answered twice.
Somebody answered twice?
Yeah, it's okay.
Possible?
Well, then, okay, they're fine. It's fine. As long as you
Okay.
put yes twice, we're fine.
So, thank you for your participation. I'm going to end the poll now. Okay, so,
So
Marilyn, you
They
can
agree or
click it to the
strongly-
next one and we can show it live.
all right, let's see how we do on the next one.
Are we able to see that?
We can see it, Susie. It popped up on our screens.
Oh, perfect. Okay, so then.
The next poll popped up. I don't see it.
No, Marilyn, can
The
you?
results
go to the
Results
next one?
popped up.
Oh, the results. Yeah, we saw the results. Yes.
There's
So
both
the res-
results here.
Okay, so if you guys are looking at the results, we have, do you feel REACH is achieving our mission and vision? We have 76% of staff members strongly agree with that and 24% agree with that. For do you feel REACH promotes academic success for all students? We have 90% of our staff who strongly agree and 10% who agree. Great. I really appreciate your poll and your input. So we're going to go ahead and conclude here with taking any questions that you may have.
I don't have a question. I do have a comment. I just wanted to just shout out Susie and Marilyn. This is a big undertaking and they've been spearheading the entire process. And so it's not fun, but you guys are getting it done. So thank you for all your hard work. So kudos to you.
Thank you so much for that. Any other questions? Anything else? Okay, great. So we will be sending, we're gonna create a folder just so you all know. And in the folder, we're going to add the PowerPoints and we're also going to be adding the links to these meetings. So you can always access them in case you need them or you want to review. We strongly suggest you review right before the visit again, like brush up on things with your teams, etc. Have a beautiful rest of the day, guys. And thank you so much.